Hello everyone! So here we are again in the living room, and as you can see I have prepared a little bit of equipment, but don't worry. We are still on our quest of using as much material that we can find in the household for our workout. So today we are going for the bucket challenge. Now, the nice thing is that you can kind of decide how much weight you want to lift during this workout. So you can either use an empty bucket, just like this, to have something to work with, or you can load it up. Now, we have here some weights that go in there, or as you can see, I brought my whole collection of Harry Potter books. So this is also nice to see how we will get stronger in the training. Maybe in the beginning we can only load 2 Harry Potter books, and at the end of the, I don't know, the week, the month, the year, we can maybe put the whole season in there. So you can stuff your bucket, or if you don't have a bucket, you, I don't know, take a basket or whatever, and then I will see you back in the training. Have fun!
Okay, so let's get started here with the warm-up. Grab your bucket, and we will always change movements between one movement that includes the bucket and one without. So first of all, we just start on the spot, and you start stepping sideways, bending one knee and having the other knee straight. The knee you bend, you make sure that your knee stays in one line with your ankle. So step right and left, push your hip back, try to keep your upper body long and straight, and go down as much as you can. Always keep in mind this is your first exercise, so don't go too much down yet. Just try to kind of feel your way into the movement. Have your knees pointing forward, have your toes pointing forward, and change right and left. You don't have to go as fast as me, you just want to kind of go with your own tempo. Now, next movement is our first movement with the bucket. We just kind of see how high is the bucket actually, so just step over it. This is basically like getting your knee to your chest, but we have an actual obstacle to step over. So step over the bucket or your laundry basket and just turn around each time. You can also kind of try to step backwards over the bucket and just keep switching between right and left leg. Keep going a little bit longer and try to keep your upper body as straight as possible and keep stepping. Okay, off to the next movement. So from here we just take a long step forward and stretch the arms out, right and left outside. So again, your front knee bends, your back knee is straight more or less, your heel comes off the ground, your shoulders are down. Yes, I know my knee here is not too much straight, but try to stretch it as much as you can. And come with your hands right and left outside, having your fingers open and your hands on one height with your shoulders. Again, you don't have to go as fast as me, you can go faster as me. Try to find your own pace here. The idea of the warm-up is to raise the heart rate and to give all joints a good mobilization, so really go with your own pace here. And then we move on to the next movement, again a movement with the bucket, so we just do circles with our feet over the bucket. So standing straight and lift your hands, your feet right and left, and just do circles without touching the bucket here. So again, this is like you would do circles in standing, but with the bucket, using the bucket, you have an actual obstacle to lift your feet over. So again, find your own speed, alternate the feet right and left, and just keep going. Try to bring your feet on the ground as silent as possible so that your muscles really can do the work and you are not kind of crushing into your joints. And keep going, keeping the upper body long and straight, not leaning too much to the front while you lift the leg. So, and off we go for our next movement. This is a non-bucket movement, so this is the ice skater. So standing on the spot, you change your legs crossing behind. So one leg stays in front and bends, and the other leg crosses behind the front leg and is straight. You want to keep your front knee in one line with your ankle and lean your upper body a little bit to the front. Really imagine you are skating over the ice, so make this look as elegant as possible, leaning your upper body to the front and stretching the back leg and making sure your front knee stays in one line with your ankle and crossing right and left, a little bit longer. And then we will move on to the next movement, which is again a movement with the bucket. So our next movement is again a movement with a bucket, and we take our empty bucket and we just go in circles. So from the right to the left we lift the bucket, and every time we want to put it down, make sure to really bend your knees so that your back can stay straight, your hip goes back, and you are really using the legs and the arms at the same time. So bucket goes up, bucket comes down. You decide how high you really want to lift the bucket. Maybe you just want to lift it from right to left without lifting it on the height of your head, or you go really as high as possible, stretching the arms all the way to just kind of get a feeling for how wide is the bucket and how much do I have to bend the knees in order to put it on the ground. You can again go faster than I go here, or keep the same speed or go slower. Off to the next movement. And here we just want to stretch right hand and left leg up to the ceiling. So keep your upper body long and straight, and then stretch your right hand and lift the left leg at the same time, and then switch again quickly, keeping the upper body long. And of course you can also go faster to raise the heart rate even more, and you want to land softly, not to make too much noise here, and really reach for the ceiling in order to stretch the arms as much as you can. And keep going or change between the two speeds here. And again, remember to land softly and stretch the arms all the way up. And off we go for our next movement, again with the bucket. And here we imagine, or we pretend that we want to lift the bucket all the way up and put it onto a shelf. So again, you bend your knees, you push your hip to the back, you have your back long and straight. You lift the bucket all the way from down and put it up onto a shelf. Go for like 5 times from the right to the left, and then 5 times from the left to the right. Again, you can decide how high you lift the bucket here, if you just want to lift it to shoulder level, or go all the way up. And then I can tell you this is also the last movement of this workout here, of this warm-up actually, and then we go on to our workout. So load the bucket with your books or with your weights, and then off we go. So here we have all the exercises in all their glory. I will walk you through them now. Follow along with all the exercises I show you so that you don't lose your warming up. So our first movement is just simply lifting the bucket. So now it contains some weights. So I grab the bucket from the right and from the left. I bend my knees, I push the hip back, and I either lift it to the height of my shoulders or all the way up. So the next one is bucket drumming. So for bucket drumming, we go into a high plank. And now you can either touch the bucket on top, lift the handle, or just push it from right to left. You are free to do what you want here. The only thing you want to make sure is that your hip and your upper body stay in one long straight line. As the next one, we have hot bucket. So imagine this bucket is full of hot soup, and you are carrying it now from one place to the other. So you have to hurry a little bit because it's very hot, and you bend your knees, push the hip to the back, put the bucket up and put it down again. So we always do like 3 steps front and back. Now, this one is my favorite. So you take the towel we mentioned at the beginning and you try to throw it into the bucket. Then you grab it from the bucket, you lift it, and you run back to your original spot, go into a plank, then get up as quickly as possible, try to throw it into the bucket and come back. So after this challenge for our coordination, we have bucket hops. So here you want to either step over the bucket, like I show here, or jump over the bucket with a little bit of speed. Or if you feel totally adventurous, you stand in front of the bucket and you hop, land softly, and make sure your knees point forward. Or if you don't feel like jumping over the whole bucket, you just take the lid. The next one is graceful bucket lifting. So we take the bucket in front of us, lift it all the way up, and stretch one leg out to the back, and then lift the bucket back up to the chest. The next one is again challenging a little bit. So you take your towel, you carry your towel walking sideways to the bucket, you lift up the bucket and you carry it to the other side. Then small fast steps to one side, grab the towel, put it on the floor, grab the bucket and put it on the floor. Next one is hop sideways. So you want to stand sideways next to your bucket and hop over it, right and left, or again, you take the lid of the bucket and jump over it. So now, if you have the feeling, oh god, this was too much, I cannot remember what she did in the first place, don't worry, we have 3 rounds, you will get used to it, and I talk you through it each time. Our first movement, get ready, stand in front of your bucket, is lifting the bucket. So 45 seconds lifting the bucket either to your chest or up, and go. So stand in front of your bucket and then go grab it and lift it all the way up, and then go down, put it on the floor slowly and lift it all the way up or only to your chest. Make sure your hip goes back, your knees are straight, your feet are pointing to the front. You are not pulling up your shoulders all the way to your ears, although your arms go up, and just try to do a general very pleasant movement. So the movement should look nice, and you want to always put the quality of the movement before speed. Go a little bit longer, and then we are coming to an end here. So go one more time up, one more time down, and 3, 2, 1, and take a 20-second break. So next one, 20-second break, is bucket drumming. So place the bucket in front of you and get ready to go into a plank behind the bucket. So this is the one where you want to either touch the bucket from the side or drum on it or shift it sideways, right and left. So 3, 2, 1, and go. So go into a plank and keep hip upper body in one line. Maybe take your feet a little bit outside, right and left. This makes it easier to keep the hips straight. And now go play with your bucket. So if you have neighbors, maybe you don't lift the lid and put it up and down, because this is always very loud, or just don't drum as loud, and then just push the bucket from right to left, or keep just going. If you have the feeling you are getting a little bit tired, you just stay in the plank here. So just stay in the plank for a little longer, or keep drumming the basket or the bucket, and go for a little bit longer, and then again you have 3, 2, 1, and break. So the next one is hot bucket. So here we get ready to carry the bucket from the front to the back and place it on the ground each time. So stand behind your bucket and get ready to pick it up with the knees bent. So we go in 3, 2, and 1, and then grab the bucket, put it to the front and on the ground, and then go to the back. And really try to have quick feet here. Again, you can, like I said, use the laundry basket, put it front, put it back, and just make small fast steps. And when you put the bucket on the ground, really make sure that you push your hip back and bend your knees. Very often when we are very flexible, we just keep the knees straight, so you really want to bend the knees in order to work in a tiny squat each time. Now keep going front and back and make small steps. Get the bucket close to your chest so that your arms are not carrying too much here, and go running for 3, 2, and 1. So next one is our a bit more challenging movement. So go get your towel, place the bucket a little bit away from you, hold the towel in your hand and get ready to throw it into the bucket, and then go grab it and run back to your spot and go into a plank. 3, 2, 1. So throw the towel into the bucket, then run forward, go get the towel, run back, go again into a plank, throw the towel and come back and go into a plank, throw the towel into the bucket, go to the front and grab the towel back and just go as quickly as you can. Don't worry if you don't hit the bucket all the time. It is surprisingly difficult to hit a small target when you're coming out of the plank, but I mean, this is the idea of this exercise, not only to train the stamina but also coordination with it. So just keep going for a little bit more, maybe one more repetition. 3, 2, 1, and break. So, and then we come to our next exercise. It's the bucket hops. So stand in front of your bucket or the top of the bucket and get ready to either jump over or step over. So 3, 2, and 1. And go jump over the bucket or hop over the bucket either with both feet at the same time or making like little steps and taking a bit of speed. And be safe when you jump over the bucket, and make sure that your knees point forward, and especially when you land, that your knees don't kind of come in together, but that they stay outside. And then just keep going, take your time when you prepare for the jump. And yeah, you have a little bit more time, and keep jumping, keep running, keep hopping over the bucket, and go a little bit longer for 3, 2, and 1, and stop. And take a very well-deserved break. Keep standing in front of your bucket. We go for graceful bucket lifting. This is where the one leg comes up and you lift your bucket to your chest. So stand in front of your bucket and get ready. Take one foot, the right foot, up into the air, and then go. Grab the bucket and then lean to the front and come with the bucket down and bring the bucket up to your chest, and the right leg comes front and up, and slowly go to the front. If you feel that your right hip is now coming up towards the ceiling, then try to rotate your right foot inside. So try to have like an inner rotation on the leg. You will feel you cannot go as much down then, but you will have your hips much more on one level. So front and down, the bucket almost touches the ground, and then you come back and up. Try to keep the right hip down as much as you can. Do not put the foot on the ground in between, and keep going. 3 and 2 and 1, and break. So now we get ready for the next one, which is the coordinative one. So grab your towel, put your bucket on one side, and stand on the other side of the room. And remember, you want to shuffle between the two, back and forth. So 3, 2, and 1, and go. Bucket to one side, grab your towel, put the towel down onto the ground, shuffle to the other side, and start again all over. So you always want to have like one thing at one spot, and then you take the other thing, you put it on the ground. And yes, I know these two are totally different from their kind of texture and everything, but this is also what gives you this extra training for coordination here. So you're running right and left, and try to be with the feet fast, and make small steps. Land softly and go right and left as quickly as possible. And go, 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 right and left, up and down, and then take a break. And then here, good news, we are preparing for the last exercise in this first round, and then a longer break is coming up. Stand sideways next to your bucket and get ready to hop over the bucket sideways, or again, take the top of the bucket only. So 3, 2, and 1. And go from here, either step over the bucket or hop over the bucket, or step over the top of the bucket or hop over the top of the bucket. You are free to choose. You can also choose in this round like one variation. If you find, oof, this was too difficult for me, then you just pick the easier or more difficult variation in the next round. So when you jump over the bucket, land softly. So really not slamming the feet down too much. Have your feet pointing forward, the knees pointing forward. Try to really make sure that you're really jumping sideways and are not halfway rotated to the front. So again, we have few more repetitions to go. 3, 2, 1, and take a long, well-deserved break. So now you catch your breath, get some water, and then we have 2 more rounds of this bucket exercising. Now you know the exercises already, so you can really focus now a bit more on speed, maybe adjust the weight of your bucket a bit, and then we start again. So get ready now, stand in front of your bucket. And then our first exercise is lifting the bucket. So catch your breath, get ready, focus on the movement, and then 3, 2, 1, we go. So standing straight and grab the bucket and then lift it to your chest or up to over your head, and come back and down. And remember, you know now what worked for you in the first round, so try to either do exactly the same, so lift it to your chest or all the way up above your head, or try to maybe go all the way up, be a little bit faster, or whatever kind of makes this exercise more challenging for you. So have your knees pointing to the front, hip goes back, and really keep the chest straight and the back straight and the chest to the front, hip goes back, and keep going. Put the bucket on the ground slowly. 3, 2, 1, and break. So, and then the second round of bucket drumming. So stand again in front of your bucket, get ready to go into a plank, and then you want to lift your hands right and left onto the bucket. So go into a plank, 3, 2, 1, and off you go. 45 minutes count from now. Remember to keep your hip parallel to the floor. Take your feet maybe a little bit more outside so that you don't have too much rotation in your hip. And then go for whatever variation you chose for this round. So either shifting the bucket from all the way to the right to all the way to the left, or lifting the top off, or just drumming with your hands right and left against the bucket, or just staying in the plank. You can, of course, also do a combination of everything. Start with one, and then when you feel it's getting too exhausting, you just come back to a plank. So we have again few more seconds here left, so keep holding your position, and then 3, 2, 1, and break. Okay, and we are getting ready for hot bucket again. So here you want to be carrying the bucket 3 steps to the front and 3 steps to the back. Putting it down in between with bending your knees. Try to shuffle your feet very quickly front and back. So 3, 2, and 1. And go. Grab your bucket, take it close to your chest, then put it on the ground and shuffle to the front and really make your back straight in between. So you don't want to be like in a half bent position, and do as many repetitions as possible, going front, going back, repeating the same movement again and again, and keep going again down, keeping the back straight, pushing your hip to the back, and try to make really fast steps in between. So 1, 2, 3 to the front and 1, 2, 3 to the back. You really want to try to see how many repetitions you can fit in here. And we have only a few more seconds left. 3, 2, 1, and back. So then, second round of this coordinative madness. Go grab your towel, push the bucket a little bit away from you so that you can get ready to throw your towel into the bucket, get it out again, go into a plank, come back up and throw it again. So 3, 2, 1, and go. Throw the towel into the bucket, then run forward, grab it from the bucket, and then go again into a plank, back, and grab it again. And try again here to go as many repetitions as possible. Have your knees much straighter than I have here in the video. I thought they were straight, but they were not. So try to have a nice plank and then try to hit your bucket with the towel, going front and back. And keep going, keep going, keep going. Count also the numbers, how many times you actually hit the bucket, and see how you are getting better from round to round. So again, we have 3 more seconds left. 3, 2, and 1, and break. So then we are off for bucket hopping. So you stand in front of your bucket and you either want to step over the bucket or the top of the bucket, or hop over it or jump over it. So there you pick your variation. You know what worked for you before. You try to kind of do the same variation again and go. So go from here, either stand in front of the bucket and jump, or go run a little bit and then jump one foot first. So keep going, and when you jump, make sure you land softly and your knees are pointing forward. And keep going and jump over the bucket or hop over the bucket or hop over the top of the bucket. And always make sure you are safe here, so your knees are really pointing forward and you are landing softly, you know. So always imagine you have people living underneath you, so you don't want to wake them up. And keep going a little bit longer. 3, 2, 1, and break. So now we want to get ready again to lift the bucket front and up, standing on one leg. So you had your right leg up first, so now comes the left leg up. So get ready, bring your left leg maybe already up, grab your bucket, and then in 3 seconds, 3, 2, 1, you go. So grabbing the bucket, left leg comes up, then you lean your upper body forward. Remember, you can turn your left foot inside so that you avoid the hip rotating too much outside, and your shoulders are down. You grab your, so you bring your bucket up close to your chest, you come forward, leg comes up and forward, have the right leg straight and up, and keep coming to the front and back and down and up, and keep going. In the second and the third round, then we can do halfway changing the leg. So 3, 2, 1, and come back. So now getting ready for our second coordinative exercise. So grab your towel again, and then you want to stand sideways to the bucket. You move the bucket a little bit outside, and then we want to get ready for the sprinting from one side to the other. And 3, 2, 1, and go. So run sideways, pick up your towel, put the towel down, and run sideways again. And now keep exchanging both of them so that you always place one on one side and you never have both at the same spot. So again, you'd want to have fast feet in between. Your knees should be pointing forward, and you want to go from one spot to the other. You can also make the distance slowly wider than before so that you have a longer stretch to shuffle, and keep going, but try to always keep the feet fast. So you don't want to slow down, you want to have as fast feet as possible, and keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. And 3, 2, 1, come back. And then the next one is the hopping sideways. So this is again our last movement for the second round. So stand sideways from your bucket, or go take the top of the bucket and get ready to hop over the bucket sideways. So going 3, 2, and 1, and then go up and back and down. Okay, and then either go faster or keep the same speed and go right and left up, and keep going, keep going, keep going, and jump. And really again, make sure your toes are pointing to the front, your knees are pointing to the front. So you want to really work the gluteus medius on the side here by jumping sideways. It's a total different activity from jumping front, because the muscles have to work totally different in order to propel you up sideways. So again, we go a little bit longer, and then we get to take a long break. 3, 2, 1, and back. So now we take a long break. So go get some water, catch your breath, and then get ready if you have time for a third round of this. So now this is the best round in my opinion, because you know you don't have to do any of it again. So you just can put all your energy into the movements. Now you know the movements also, so there are no surprises anymore, and you can really focus on doing them as well as possible. So get ready, stand in front of your bucket, and we are going to lift the bucket front and up. So go 3, 2, 1, and go. So bucket comes up to your chest and then all the way up over your head, and keep going and down. Remember to bend your knees and really push your feet into the ground to make yourself long and straight. And when the bucket comes to the ground, you want to also set it down slowly. Don't throw it down, although it's the last time you do this round. You might still have need for this one, or you might decide to do this workout again. So keep going and lift and go down, and only few seconds left here. So keep going up and down and lift and down, and then we have 3, 2, 1, and break. So our last plank here in front of the bucket, where we want to kind of hit it again hard with the hands or shuffle it from side to side. So go get ready to go into a plank, stand in front of your bucket, go into a plank, get ready, and 3, 2, 1. And you want to hit the bucket with your hands right and left, or shift it from side to side as far away as possible. So find your variation here, and then remember these are the last 45 seconds that we do this exercise. So keep going, lifting as much as you can, keeping the hip parallel to the floor. Remember to take the feet a bit more outside, right and left, so that your hip has a chance to stay parallel. And then keep going. And a little bit more, and then we go also in the last few seconds of this exercise, and keep going. 3, 2, 1, and break. So, and we have hot bucket. So this is the last time we carry hot soup from one end of the room to the other. So remember, you want to have quick feet shuffling front and back. So get ready, stand in front of the bucket and then bend down. 3, 2, 1, and go. So front and back, going up and down. And put the bucket on the ground and try to really have fast feet. So here again, you have no need to save any energy for any other rounds. This is the last round, so really go all in, front and back and front and back. And keep going, put the bucket on the ground and go and go and go. And only few seconds left, and going front and back, and keep going and going and going. And then we have 3, 2, 1, and break. And go. Then we go for our next coordinative exercise. So you want to take your towel and then go and throw the towel into the bucket with your plank. So again, now let's see how many you can do now after having been practicing these exercises. 3, 2, 1, and go. So grab your towel, throw it into the bucket, run, get it, go into a plank, come back up into a standing, and then come back and up. So go down plank and come up, throw into the bucket, go grab it, and then come back. So also try maybe to move the bucket further away from you. I should have said this before, but anyway, so keep going and go down, come back and up, and keep pushing and go a little bit longer only, and then we can say goodbye to this exercise as well. So keep going, keep going, keep going. Nice planks, nice straight legs, and 3, 2, 1, and break. So then get the bucket again closer to you, put the towel to the side, and then we want to get ready to jump over the bucket. So from here, you want to stand in front of your bucket and either step or jump over it. So 3, 2, 1, and go. So either stepping or jumping, going front and back, lifting your legs, landing softly, having your feet pointing to your knees pointing to the front when you decide to jump. So land softly here. Remember, imagine always there are people living underneath you, and they should not wake up just because you are practicing some jumping exercises here. So land really softly. This is much better for your knees, and you have a much bigger benefit than for your muscles because they really have to work here. So keep going. And we only have little bit of time left, so not too much. Do a few more hops, and then it is 3, 2, 1, and break. And then we go for a last time of graceful bucket lifting. So I will tell you halfway through now to change legs so that you are ready to go. So stand in front of the bucket, take the right leg up first, and then we go. So 3, 2, 1, and right leg comes up, and lift, and down, and lift, and down. Very, very good. And keep going, and keep going. And upper body straight. Remember to turn the left foot inside, and then get ready to switch legs. So switch from here to the other side. So the left leg comes up, and you go front and down, and lift again, and front and down, and lift, and keep going, little bit longer only, and then we are almost there. So go from here. 3, 2, 1, and break. So, and then my favorite one, so the shuffling of the bucket and the towel. Go get your towel, push the bucket out to the side so that you have some space to cover, some ground to cover, and then stand with your towel in your hand and get ready to shuffle sideways. So 3, 2, 1, and go to the side. Put the bucket on the ground. Take your towel, put it on the ground, and keep running right and left to the side. And as quickly as you can, really keep going. This is also the last time that we do this, and afterwards we have only one more exercise left. So really the end is near, as they say, so you can see the finish line more than clearly now. So just go all in. Now finish strong here and go. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Bend your knees each time you go down. Don't keep the legs straight and keep going a little bit longer, a little bit more. And go and go. And then 3, 2, 1 and okay, and this is our definitely last exercise, so we want to get ready to hop sideways over the bucket. So stand, bring your bucket back into the center of your room, stand sideways next to it, and then get ready for your last exercise. 3, 2, 1, and go. So either stepping over it or running or jumping over it, sorry, skipping over it, and land again softly. Remember to have your knees pointing forward and keep going, right and left and up, okay, and go and keep going and go lift and have the knees pointing forward and be careful with the jumping and keep going, go. Last movements of this circuit and then really we are done. So keep going and go. Only few more seconds left. 3, 2, 1 and
that's me doing the bucket challenge. I hope you enjoyed. You sweated a little bit like me, and if you liked the video, comment and subscribe to my channel. This would really help me a lot. And I see you next week. Bye bye.